Hi, my name's Wilx, and this is episode 11 of FTP Continuum. Today we're going to talk some more about the mining bee and get the range way up on that. We're going to deal with the assassin bee and talk about the bug that was caused by it. We're going to make a bee gun. We're going to make power for the Efab. We're going to make some void miners, and we're going to get started on Xnet. To upgrade the range on my bee, I decided that I was going to need a monastic drone. To get a monastic drone, you have to trade with a villager. And the way you do it is you start trading with him a whole pile of wheat and a whole pile of carrots and a whole pile of potatoes. Those are the first three things he'll allow you to trade. And you keep trading and keep trading and keep trading those. So like stacks of each of them. And eventually you will open up these other things, which include a monastic drone. Notice it takes 50 emeralds and a princess. Now the princess can be an ignoble princess, so you're probably going to use an ignoble to do that. And you're going to need emeralds. Now you can get emeralds for a couple of different ways. I'm getting emeralds now through bees, but you could take a whole pile of string, like a backpack full of string, and start trading it to the villagers. Like over half of them will take string and trade you emeralds for them. I think there's one right in front of me here. Yeah, fisherman. So he'll take string and trade it for emeralds. So back to this guy. And you get... Whoops, that's not what I want. Monastic drone. And you get your monastic drone like that. Notice you can also get ender drones that way as well, using ender eyes. Alright, so that's how I got my monastic drone. Let's go back now to my base. Alright, there's a couple of things I want to do right away to get them started. So one of them is... Actually, they don't go in there. Over here, I've made some woven silk. I'll show you how I did that in just a sec. Let's clear this out. Put that there. No, actually, it's diamonds there. Backpack there. And then these go around like that. And it's going to start its thing. Hopefully, yep, it is. Now these don't stack, so I'll have to come back to it in a sec if I want the second one. So to get the silky wisps, I used a tropical princess, or queen, and that's a hive bee, so they're easy to get. You just have to get rid of the nasty poison effect that they have. And then from that you get silky propolises, and you put those through your centrifuge a second time, and then you get your silky wisps. And that's how I did it. Notice I'm getting these emerald fragments, and you take those and turn them into emeralds. It takes 9 of them each. Alright, so let's see. How are you? Are you done? Not quite yet. Alright, so what did I want that monastic drone for anyways? I decided to go with a Vindictive bee. That seemed like the easiest way to get my bigger territory. And I needed a monastic drone, and I already had the demonic. So, that was easy. However, Vindictive bees have one of the nastiest effects of them all. See all these holes in the ground here? They just pick a block sort of at random in their territory and vaporize it. And if you put it in your base, it can start vaporizing blocks in your base. I once in Beyond Reality, I'd set one up, walked, it was a base I was sharing with other people on a multiplayer server. And I went away and started looking for, I forget what I was mining or looking for more princesses or what I was doing. But it was away for a couple of hours, came back, and our base looked like Swiss cheese. It had destroyed machines. It had done all sorts of nasty stuff. So probably I shouldn't even done it there, because it even, not only could it get rid of my apiaries or something, it even got a block all the way over here. I should have just pillared up, stuck an apiary up there and stuck it in there. Then it would have been safe and not destroyed anything. All right, so let's come back over here. One's done. Okay. Yeah, we'll set this up right now. All right, so for the assassin bee, I figured out, it took me a while. I looked through my crash reports, I checked their issues page for the developers, and what it turns out is, if with the assassin bee, it looks for queens to kill. And it doesn't just look in the bee houses or apiaries. It looks at any tile entity. And if the tile entity is not a apiary, the game crashes. And there's already been a fix posted on their issues page, so I assume it's going to be fixed very soon. So this is just a temporary thing. And but to avoid it, what you have to do is stick an apiary out in the middle of nowhere where there's no tile entities around it. So what's a tile entity? A tile entity is any block that has extra data on it. For instance, a chest has what can be stored in it, or what's stored in it. That's extra data. If it's a cable, it can have stuff flowing through it, or a hopper, or a energy cable, for instance. So you cannot use it with an industrial apiary because you've got to give it power. So the cable that gives it power is going to cause a problem. So you can put it way off in the distance. Then once you've separated it into a princess and a drone, if you're going to try to make more drones after giving it fertility 4, it starts with fertility 1. Use a Yeti princess, because you cannot put anything on the sides of the apiary. That's why I kept crashing. I kept putting transfer nodes and stuff on the sides of the apiary to make more of them. But a whole bunch of people, including, I'm not sure how you pronounce this, Yavu's GM and Jedi Rules, both mentioned, don't bother. Just use your bee gun and put the queen directly in the bee gun. So, fair enough. So what we're going to do is we're going to make ourselves a bee gun for this thing. And to do that, we're going to put down, I don't know why I insist on using these extra large chests. I fell in love with them. They don't have a sort function. And it's becoming annoying for me. So we're going to pull out of this one. So we'll just shift it onto there. Then we'll use control. We're putting it into that one. Get out of my way, you're bugging me. We'll put, that's a flower pedestal. Oh, yeah, flower pedestals. I should have done first. They're really easy to make. Just a flower and some sticks. Oh, I know what I don't have here. I need some iron. I want 28 iron. 4 for the bee gun and 24 for the armor. In here. And so what do we put our iron, there 28 in there, pops over here. Oh, and we need to put a honey smelter queen. That's a graduate and a smelter. Honey smelter queen in there. And it's going to turn whatever's on the pedestals into honey bricks, whatever you call them. Okay, let's come over here. Why is it not? We've got one. Why is it not making another? I don't get it. Needs resources. I don't know what's wrong. Oh, I know what's wrong. I'd use this, and there was something in it. Oh, come on. You can do it now. I don't know why. Maybe I have to make another one. Oh, well. We'll go without that for now. So, what... Let's go out and take a look at our miner B. And yes, I would just make another one of those... Let's go take a look at our miner B. Okay, so we're out here. Notice I no longer have all of those things running off of this. I replaced it with an item eject cover from Gendistry. So it's just bronze gears, a piston, and a bronze gear. They work like flat transfer nodes, but they are way faster. Let's see if anything comes in here. It like comes out instantaneously. So now we have we can handle the speed at which the stuff is coming out of here. And I've emptied this thing out a whole pile of times. And we've got the 4 territory upgrades in there, and these have been upgraded for max territory. And so the guy that was telling me about that Omega Dino said that he was getting, 151 across. So I set up these things. Notice it's got rid of some of them already. It still has a lot to go. It's nowhere close to finishing everything within its territory. And this would be where 75 is. So 75 to one side, 75 to the other side, that's 151. So I'm expecting it to catch this block here eventually. But as you can see, it's getting close. It's out this far already. And so, why didn't I do it while I was over there? I'm going to run all the way back. Using our backpack, our new backpack. So we take this, make it the green arrow, shift right click. This thing's got 45 in it. But notice, this still has stuff in it. That's why I wanted 2 of them. And we come back here, and then we take that, make it yellow, and we right click on there, and the thing's now empty. And it all went into here. And I'm building up stuff. You never did, I don't know. All right, so next up, I did make myself an Emerald Bee, as we mentioned. So the Emerald Bee, which was fairly easy. Well, actually, not all that easy. It was a Lapis and a Forest. Lapis is Resilient and an Imperial. I'd actually made the Resilient for something else. All right, let's go get ourselves some honey nuggets or whatever they're called. I don't remember. Honeycomb ingots. I needed 4 of them for a bee gun. And the gun is I forget the recipe. Then what you've got to do is, I put a little bit of honey in there. I've got 2 buckets in it. And this is a bottler. I just bucketed it in. I didn't auto do whatever with it. No, it's over on this side. That's right. This is to put stuff in there. This is to pull stuff out of there. And then we'll come over somewhere. Actually, we'll just do it with this B, I guess. So let's say you wanted to create a whole pile of drones. Whoops. As you can see, there's no drones on this thing right now. So if we take and right-click, we can put our assassin bee in there. We can have like 6 different bees in this thing. And then we right-click at that. And as you can see, it killed it off. We got 4 drones in there now. Do that again. And it killed it off again. So a really fast way to kill off the queens. And you can just continue to use the same assassin princess forever, or queen forever, unless you lose it. Okay, so who's next? I was doing something else. What was I doing? No, I guess that's it for that. Let's move on to our RF upgrade for our Efab. I'm just going to make the stuff to do it today. I'm not going to actually use it until next episode. But let's get on to some crafting here. Okay, so for the power upgrade, you're going to need a quintuple battery. And the recipe for that, you need a quadruple, triple, double, single, and this. But not only that, but later on, we're going to have to do, it gets even worse. And these things don't stack. They're a pain in the butt to make. But that's how you make that part for the power upgrade. I just made one of these. I don't know if I want it for all of them yet or not. I might need more of those later. But we also need RF control units, and you can use up to 4 of these. And these need the high voltage blocks, which need the high voltage wire coils, which take steel and aluminum wire. They also take the insulated gold cables, latex, and gold cable in an Efab. So that's our 4 of them. Now, for the next part of this, we also want some RF storage, which I've actually already made here. Now, this is how I did it. So this is an RF tools crafter. I've got a basic coil recipe there. Oh, remember to get the black quartz, you've got to use Certus. And keep in mind, mining bees don't pull up Certus. So all the Certus that I had came from manually mining. And I'm just about out of it right now. So we're going to have to deal with that issue. There's then the advanced coils, then the single batteries, the double batteries, the triple batteries, the energy crystals. I had to make another grinder to do the small piles of diamond dust. The industrial grinder doesn't take diamonds. And then use that with some electronic circuits and lapis, and eventually you can make these things. This is a pain because the batteries don't stack, the crystals don't stack, nothing stacks. That's why I decided to make it in this, but it kind of messed up on me a little bit. That's why I'm not running through it with you right now. I did it in a very sloppy fashion. See, the single battery, look, it's Endori crystals around an advanced coil. Double battery, sort of the same thing. I just kept dumping ingredients in, and I kept making the wrong things. Notice I got extra double batteries, extra single batteries, etc. Better to make one thing at a time. Like make a stack of your coils or whatever, then your advanced coils, then your single batteries, then your double batteries, or you end up with some of the wrong stuff. So in other words, I didn't do it that efficiently, so I didn't bother showing that part on screen. It really annoyed me. I'm sure if I thought about it longer, I could come up with a good way, but I'm not going to be making a lot of these, I don't think. I know I wanted more than 4, so I made 6. And we'll see how that does me. But I'm not setting them up for today. I'll place them all in between episodes, and then for next episode, we'll move further up the chain. So we've finished off down to here now, and then we'll go in here and we'll start making this, and we can have our ender chest then. All right, what's next? I think it's on to void miners. Okay, so for the void miners, you have to make the drills first. This is a quest on its own, and I'm going to make 4 void miners, so I need 4 of these. The drill coil is made like this with Endori crystals, or blocks, basic coils. And we need high voltage coil blocks again. I think I showed those before. Aluminum and steel. So we want 4 of those. Notice they don't stack. And neither do these crystals here. So I'm making 4 void miners. Originally I'd planned on making 3 void miners and 1 resource miner. Then I discovered that mica wasn't a thing in this pack. You don't need mica to progress. So I went, I won't bother making a resource miner then. I'm having second thoughts about it though. There was some other useful things that came out of it, like for instance mycelium for mushrooms and things. And I'm not sure if there's other stuff that I wouldn't want from a resource miner, so maybe I should have made one of these a resource miner, or even a botanical one. It might have been useful, but for now I'm just making all void miners. Because it's just the controller that differs. The rest of the stuff's all the same for these things. So we're going to be needing some concrete for the interconnects. So to make that, you've got to make black concrete powder first. And you can make ink sacs with the atomic reconstructor and the dye thing. Throw lapis in or something and make it that way. Sand and gravel, and that makes your black concrete powder. Now, if we look at the use of this, normally to make your black concrete, you would put it in a fluid transposer. Well, I can't make a fluid transposer yet. I have to get there. So what can we do about this? Well, you just add water and you can make your own concrete. So submerge it in water. Fair enough. Let's, actually before we do that, we'll sleep to get rid of the darkness. Not that it matters. I'm so well lit up around my base, I never see mobs. Come out here. As you notice, this is now black concrete instead of black concrete powder. And we've got our 8 of those. I already made a whole pile of this stuff. Put the 8 there. So I already had 64 there and 32 there. But we need a stack and a half of these interconnects. And put 1 stack there. That gives us structural tier 1s. Then over here, we need to do that again for this. And that gives us more structural frame tier 1s. Then these connectors here are redstone and iron bars and gold nuggets. We need structural panels. We need 80 of these, so 64 and 16. We need 2 for each of them for the laser cores, more connectors, iron and glass. Then we're going to need some clear crystal lenses, which is just glass in an H shape. And then assembler, which is an emerald and some obsidian. All right, and I made myself another little doorway, at least for now, out here. And I've used some Xnet cable. We'll talk more about that in a sec. And these are an Xnet connector there and an Xnet connector there. So I've got one on the storage crate, and one's going to be going on the void ore miner. The reason I use that stuff is I can use one cable and get both power and items traveling through it. So we place that there. And we're going to right-click it a few times. And it's working. Okay, so far so good. Let's try again. Oops. Shift right-click. Now, why are you not lit up? What are you missing? He's missing something. Well, let's make them all, and I'll find out what I've got left. Because I don't see what I'm missing. And again, it seems to be missing something. Do you see what it's missing? Oh, here. This one I can see. Structural panel. Still not done. I don't see what it's missing. I wonder if it, because I'm standing there, it won't place a block. Okay, what have I got left over? I've got a tier 1 of those and a structural panel left over. So, oh, here. That one's working. That one's working. This one here is missing a structural panel. Where's the panel go? My guess would be it's under here. So if we, is it shift? That breaks it. Nope. Because I can't see where it's missing, so I'm guessing that it's underneath one of these. And it is. Cool, I figured it out. All right. Don't know why it didn't want to place there. Boom, and they're all up and going. Cool. So this cable runs all the way down through here, under the ground, out to, actually let's show you where it runs out to. Runs through, along there, up through here. And I've got the cable connecting directly to this glass fiber, and then the controller. I'm actually debating as to whether I'm going to run it to all of these things and power all of these things as well and do other stuff with it, but we'll see. I'm keeping it simple for now. All right, so this isn't going to be supplying any power yet. The cables are doing nothing. So we need to create one for energy. So you can change it over logic, storage, items, fluids, energy. So we're creating one for energy. And we will call this power. And from there, what we want to do is come here, and we want to create one. And this particular one, we want it to be an E. Then each of these things, we want to create one, and we want it to stay as an I. And you can set priorities and all sorts of things. Now, a lot of people will set it up so that their controller is also getting power from the cable through this. I've got my controller hooked directly up to the power, so I don't have to. But most people would have an I here on the controller as well. And so now we should have power running out to these things. And they automatically place in the inventory beside them. And boom, we're getting stuff. So why did I bother making void miners when I've got a B that I'm very, very happy with? Well, the biggest reason was early on when I first started researching this pack, I came across something that said there was void miners could get you materials that even manual mining couldn't. Then I went looking for it again to find out what exactly were those materials that it got. And I couldn't find that post. I didn't bookmark it, which was a mistake. So I'm not sure if that's true or not. I would have needed to see it again and find out what materials it was talking about. For instance, Bs won't get me my, or the B miner won't get me my Certus, but I can still make a Certus B. I don't remember whether I showed this or not. Eventually, I want to work my way up to get a temporal. Actually, no, let's not do it that way. Certus. Notice that you can't make the Certus Princess. But you can get the Certus Combs from Quantum Bees. And you're going to need a Quantum Bee if you want to make the Temporal Queen. So you're going to have to work your way up to them anyways, and then you just use some of these as well to get your Certus, and you can get your Certus that way. So what things I'd be missing, I'm not 100% sure of. It might be something further on in the pack. I don't know whether it's better at tungsten or titanium or something else that I don't even know about. So I'm going to leave you with a thought here on this. I need to set up some automated ore processing. I'll do something like I did in Direwolf. And I want to get suggestions from you on what things I should be deliberately holding off on doing until I have proper processing methods. What do I mean by that? For instance, bauxite. I want to put it through an electrolyzer so that I can get my titanium. I'm not sure what I need to do for tungsten. There are other things. I think nickel gives off something else that you want. What things do I deliberately want to hold off on processing? What things can I just go ahead because they don't have anything special? What things do I not need to double? Like, for instance, am I going to have way more iron than I need, which I suspect is going to be a case in this pack, where I might not bother doubling it and just send it straight to a furnace? Or maybe I do need a lot later on. I don't know. So what gotchas? What things deliberately do I want to process, or do I want to process in a special way? Let me know in the comments. All right, so that's it for this episode. I hope you learned something new. Go out there and have some fun. Thanks.